Welcome back. These are the last 4 stages of the serve. As I said at the beginning, be very patient. The learning curve is not going to be easy, and sometimes it's gonna feel like it's gonna take a long time to adapt to all these new movements. But if you are patient enough, you will end up having the form and the reference points that all tennis professionals do. Here we go. Now we're going to go into the 5th stage, which is acceleration. Don't forget, this stage and the next stage, you're still going up. You need to remember this. Still at acceleration, which is now you're past the cocking stage, and now you're going to accelerate here. At that point, you're still sideways. Don't over rotate your hips. You're still sideways, facing that way. Your shoulders are still sideways, facing that way. Now the joint angle at contact should be around 150 degrees, more or less, a little bit more, a little bit less. You don't want to make this line too straight, as it can cause too much stress on your shoulder and back, and eventually maybe causing an injury. You will also see the mistake when the kid, instead of reaching up, is hitting the ball too low. Obviously, you want to make sure that reaching up for the ball, instead of waiting for the ball to come down, and finish hitting the ball like this. When you get to this position, you will only see one calf muscle. So you get here. That is exactly what you should see. If you see a gap, is that you actually over-rotated your hips and your shoulders. So you have to remember, stay sideways, don't over-rotate your hips, and you will see just one calf muscle, which is the perfect position to have. Now the 6th stage, we have only 2 more to go, is contact. You are still on your way up. You almost reached the maximum amount you can reach up there, but not yet. You still have a little bit more, so you're gonna make contact with the ball, and after that you still go up a little bit more. And again, I can't keep emphasizing this enough. Do not over rotate at contact. You need to still be sideways facing the net pole. Now you can make the mistake that you come down too soon, and as I said, you need to be on your way up even after you hit. But if you are on your way down, you're going to collapse and have excessive trunk flexion. So it's going to look like this. Or another mistake is to have excessive lateral flexion. Now when you hit the ball, you don't want to make contact back here. That puts a lot of strain on your shoulder. You want to make contact in front. So you toss the ball forward and try to make contact in front. Now don't forget, your left arm should be tucked in and your head should be up. Now a lot of people ask, how much should I jump off the ground when I'm serving? Well, a good number to go with is 6 inches. Sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less, but 6 inches is about the average. You see the pros do it. Now supination and pronation happens super fast, hundreds of a second, and it's not something you should break down for a student to do in stages. So again, please don't try to do in stages. If you videotape a kid while they try to do that, throwing the ball upwards position, practicing the shoulder over shoulder position, videotape them in slow motion and look how they actually supinate and pronate without even thinking about it. And that is exactly the way it should happen. If all the steps are right in the last couple of stages, this should happen absolutely naturally. Now you will hear the term long axis rotation, which includes the 3 joints. And this is why it's called long axis rotation. You get internal shoulder rotation, get forearm rotation, and you get that wrist rotation or thumb down rotation. Now the next stage is called deceleration. This is stage 7. You still should be going up a little bit at this stage. If at this stage you feel you're falling down, you're still collapsing a little bit too early. In other words, at this stage, you shouldn't be close to landing yet. If you're looking at the player from the back, you should see a very nice straight line. And be very careful with excessive trunk flexion. And finally, the last stage, the finish. So you have to make sure this finish is into the court. Make sure you don't go backwards or stay in the same place. An easy way to achieve this is make sure you toss the ball a little bit in front of you, because then of course you're gonna hit the ball in the right place, and that will drag you forward the way you need to be. Also, make sure you don't land to the left or to the right. This could be as well directly related to your toss. Obviously, if you toss the ball at 130 or that way too much, you're gonna have to reach that way, and you will end up landing too far that way. And if you toss the ball too far that way, you're gonna end up leaning to the left too much, which is actually pretty bad for your back. Just make sure you go into the court. Now you should see the right leg kick backwards, not to the side. But again, this is just an effect of the previous stages being done correctly, especially the loading stage. Also, during those stages, remember, the hip doesn't over rotate. So if it over rotates, obviously the leg is gonna go that way, and you're gonna see a big gap during that finish stage. You want to make sure that leg kicks back, and that's gonna be an effect of you making sure you keep that hip facing the net pole. Now just make sure that the landing leg is not straight. You have to make sure land like that. Now, as I keep saying over and over, in this stage, you're on your way down, fine, but the previous stages, you were on your way up. So when you finish the follow through, you still shouldn't be landing. You will land after you finish the follow through, and this will only happen if you did truly hit the ball on your way up. So when you pass by here, you still shouldn't be landing. If you land like this, you actually achieve that. You hit the ball on your way up and not on your way down. When you hit the ball on your way down, you have that excessive trunk flexion. And this is why the trunk flexion happens, because you didn't hit the ball on your way up. Now, in these last 8 stages we saw, there's a lot of information, so be patient. You need to be willing to change, as I mentioned at the beginning. It is going to be painful a little bit, but you will achieve that form that gives the professionals a world-class serve. Now, if you like the information in this video, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. It wouldn't hurt either if you hit the like button. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Mario. You can do it.